What's a thing you strongly dislike about Reddit? Often objectively incorrect information gets upvoted, and even if it is corrected, the correction doesn't get a quarter of the attention. People speak with authority, and if it sounds plausible, people buy into it. I've fallen into this trap myself. GIF of cop who accidentally crashes his patrol car at the same time as the guy in the backseat slipped his cuffs and was trying to set it on fire with a lighter. Top reply. Actually, this was purposefully intentional, and it was the only thing the officer could have done in this situation, because he didn't know what the guy in the backseat was trying to do. I about quit this fucking site. I fucking hate this pseudo expert shit. The increasing number of clickbait titles. My front page is turning into Facebook, which is depressing. A bunch of clickbait titles and or scripted videos that people actually think are genuine. How they keep changing the ads to look more and more like real posts. Yes, I'll be watching an ad for like 5 seconds before I check for the sub and hey, it's not there. When I come late to a post and I see deleted everywhere, just fucking delete it completely then, and stop making me curious about what top comment said. Copy the link, and instead of Reddit in the link, replace it with rem of edit and it'll show the comment. After a while, I get tired of seeing all the sex-oriented AskReddit posts. Don't go to /r/tifu. That fucking glitch with the inbox where it doesn't show the correct number of view and read comments. Yes, apparently I have over 200 unread comments, or read. I'm a lawyer. I see a lot of very authoritative, highly upvoted posts here that are very incorrect. I also see a lot of misinformation being parroted in the comments. In the past, I've tried to correct it, but people will argue with me and tell me I'm the idiot. I'm a doctor and I've just stopped correcting others. I've been told I must be a terrible doctor or you're a pathetic liar, you are pretending to be a doctor etc for correcting an utterly and undeniably incorrect medical fact. But, because I got there after all of its upvotes and gold, I'm just some fucking idiot trying to shit on everyone as they marvel at fake facts. The problem is sometimes it can actually be dangerous. Which goes the same for your line of work too. I got into an argument with some dumb fuck about how to give CPR. I even linked the guidelines. It's not like we are talking really intricate medical science. Pretty bread and butter for a first aider. Naturally, as I arrived after this hero posts their bullshit, incorrect story, I was downvoted in the focus of pretty pathetic online bullying. Like, okay, go give your relative in cardiac arrest inadequate CPR. Because Professor Buttfucker69 says so on Reddit. Jesus Christ. Anyway, when you actually look at a lot of the backquote facts that folk proudly parade with authority but no source, often they are just baseless bullshit. I feel yapping. Fuck this site, and fuck coronavirus for fist fucking my plans for the next 6 months. I hate that so many redditors are obsessed with Reddit itself and its mechanics, as in a lot of comedy pages and memes are just about upvotes, cake day, not having the karma to post in places. I do try find it clever or meta, it's just boring. Picture of sad baby YODA asterisk, me when I has no karma, but once cake day dudes, then throw in 1,000 people shamelessly reposting that meme across a bunch of different subs. It seems like everything gets watered down by people addicted to karma. If a post contains the terms cake day, upvotes, sort by new, posting for 6 karma, etc, that's an automatic downvote from me. Everyone seems to bear an equally weighted opinion. If you're qualified to write in something, but the armchair internet experts think you're wrong and or they don't like it, then you may as well not have added to the discussion at all. When a post that could elicit some interesting responses has nothing but puns, dick jokes, pop culture references or references to pop culture references in past threads as the top comments. Same goes for YouTube videos. If YouTube ever adds a way to mute or ban words in comments, everybody will be banning the words nobody and me. It's like r/dankmemes users who genuinely think they're funny also watch YouTube videos and somehow make it to the top with their comment. Sob story headlines, and just downright lazy pics on r/pics that get upvoted like crazy. Post that shit on Facebook. That's why I go to r/knock and text pics instead. The whole point is to combat that issue and just appreciate what r/pics was supposed to be, pics.
Award ceremony speeches for getting gold or a ton of upvotes on a comment. It used to be fine, but I'm so tired of the kind stranger thing. On mobile app, unable to sort notifications by read/read. If all the notifications have been read, it will still show that there aren't read notifications. I turned off all notifications, except replies to comments and posts. Best decision I ever made. Edit. If you're on mobile and want to disable your notifications, go to notifications, envelope in lower right corner, click on 3 little dots in upper right corner, click on edit notification settings. I can't think of the right word, but it's especially seen in subs like r/amethysol and r/relationship_advice. The people on there just think in a way that's completely unrealistic and not at all like the real world. Like yeah, you can have your opinions and shit, but almost everything I see is absurd because that's just not how people in real life think and act. Also, forgot to mention, the top post of all time on ATA is a scathing rant about how idiotic the members are and how disconnected from the world it all is. It perfectly ripped into the subs members, but sadly had little impact on it. The fact that it's a massive echo chamber. Used to read all the AskReddit questions back in the day, but now I don't really bother. When someone asks what are the most severely underrated movies, you know what the top 20 answers are gonna be. When you've read that thread once, you've read them all. Same with all the other old favorites. I can't stand two things. First is the fake humility. Here's a thing I made or did, followed by, it's not much but, drives me nuts. And, came here to say that. I'm not good but I'm 14, so upvote me. Really annoys me. It's like yeah, good you have a hobby, go practice. I'm so quirky and original because Reddit, people. Liking Reddit isn't a personality trait. Reddit tends to promote extreme opinions by people with no real experience. It's great for memes and interesting tidbits, but an awful place to get advice or perspective on anything important. It's really eye-opening when you see comments about a subject where you have legitimate expertise and someone saying things that are completely wrong is getting upvotes, and you get downvoted for telling they're wrong. Everyone here with opinions about what's wrong with the concept of Reddit, so I'll chime in with what's wrong with actual Reddit. The search function is useless. Exactly. Sometimes I want to search for a post but all you can find are private subreddits. That when you block someone they can still reply and see your activity. It makes no sense. Needs to be more like other social platforms where if you're blocked you can't see them at all. I didn't know that was a thing till the echo chamber mentality and the mods who go on power trips. Also the Reddit admins' unwillingness to equally enforce their own rules. People on here are very uncreative with their jokes and very repetitive. Try and say something funny instead of repeating, "Did you break your arms?" or "I also choose this guy's wife." Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind strangers. You don't need to edit your comment thanking them for giving you an award. I get equally frustrated with the low quality comments that aren't even jokes. Like why do you get 1000 upvotes for saying wholesome on every remotely positive post? The hive mentality. It's annoying AF, especially when people blindly downvote without really looking into the thing and only downvoting because others downvoted. The fact that one person's ignorance carries equal weight to another's expertise. The fucking repetitive comments. Always the same fucking comments. Also edited comments thanking someone for gold. Fuck you. There is so much I hate about the threads on Reddit. So much I hate about internet culture in general. The whole "thanks for the gold, kind Saint Ranger" irks me to the core. How disorganized the comment chains still are, where you can barely tell when a new comment starts. Reddit, for fuck's sakes, just make the borderlines bold so we can tell. Otherwise, it looks like one really long list of comments. I swear the Reddit was meant to destructively test mice because of the amount of additional clicks it requires to accomplish anything. The day Reddit takes down 192.168.0.230:8080 is the day I'm getting my ass on oars and firing up an alternative. Obvious one. People who repost and claim to be original.
But you can't have an opinion that's contrary to the majority. Not even on r/unpopular opinion. Christ, you're not wrong. Just went on that sub and everything is a very popular opinion, either in reality or just on Reddit. Defeats the whole purpose. Sock puppet accounts. I've talked about this before, but spammers really annoy me. For those of you unfamiliar with these accounts, they are usually brand new or occasionally older accounts that are bought with little activity that repost comments and posts, word for word, to gain karma, so that they can sell the accounts to spammers or use them themselves to spam. Here is a more detailed guide about them. We find and bang dozens of these accounts every day here on AskReddit, and I know the mods of other subs have just as hard of a time dealing with these as we do. There is a sub called /r/for accounts dedicated to spotting these sock puppets accounts and calling them out. Then there are the t-shirt spammers that are just as bad. They will post on a sub like a regular user being like, "Look at this cool shirt I got," and then in the comments another one of their accounts will act like they are unrelated and say something like, "If anyone wants to buy it, I found it here." This isn't always limited to t-shirts. There was a guy that did this with a potato and bragged about how money he made because of Reddit. We get these accounts on here a lot too, typically with threads about gifts, and it's usually this candle company, this face blanket company, and many other novelty gifts, all of them probably owned by the same person. It really annoys me how these accounts use methods like this to trick people. Sometimes I write a thoughtful comment with a different perspective, and it starts an interesting conversation. Most of the time, comment is either ignored, downvoted with no explanation, or I get called every insult you can think of for not being in sync with the Redditive mind. Or thoughtful, nuanced, respectful post that takes you half an hour to tap out gets ignored. A drive-by one-liner that takes you 10 seconds gets hundreds of upvotes. I really don't like how there are a lot of one-uppers here. For example, in a thread about useless facts, I said Tolkien died in 1973, 1 ring to rule them, 9 for mortal men doomed to die. Someone commented, "Yay, but that's not the order that Tolkien wrote in." It's like people always have to point out some irrelevant nonsense, and I don't know if they do it because they want to genuinely educate people or they want to point out something to make themselves feel smart. I feel like it's the latter. Definitely the latter. How everyone thinks they're an expert and far more intelligent than the average Reddit user. Well, I'll have you know that I am smarter than everyone else, and if you don't comprehend why, then I'm not gonna tell you. Asterisk asterisk, this comment has been deleted by the moderators asterisk asterisk. LOCKEDBECAUSEYALL. People being mean for sport. We have the opportunity to reach out to strangers, and we, as a community, use it to eat up goodness and shit out misplaced anger. This is the first comment to address this. People on Reddit tend to be really mean almost without realizing it. ESP subreddits devoted to cringe content. A lot of it is just attacking socially awkward people for liking various things that Reddit mainstream decides is weird. It's a stark contrast from the liberal/progressive ideals of inclusivity that a lot of Redditors believe they have. The new design of the comments section for Android users. No, I don't want to see everyone's picture by their username. And no, I don't like having the voting buttons on the left side of the screen now. I keep accidentally pressing the awards button. I thought I was just dumb, and that the voting buttons were always on the left. Guess that also changed. When I can exactly predict the always unfunny joke responses. He said worst, not best, blah blah blah, they never made a Last Airbender movie. Always the same, never funny. The amount of people that are just nasty and love to troll. I know I'll sound like an boomer, but I remember a time when Redditors weren't always that hostile to each other. There are a lot of teens on here who are still developing their empathy and cognitive skills. Not a Redditor, but fantastic high quality content gets deleted regularly from all over the website because the op forgot to tag their post, humor, or they put 2 sbubbers in their post instead of 1. That sort of thing. Posts that are just wrong, but get thousands of upvotes and get promoted to the front page. Especially when they get reposted multiple times, getting thousands of upvotes every time, while still being completely wrong and misleading. This is a problem with the internet in general, but Reddit is a core offender in consolidating and amplifying fringe political beliefs. Before all of this, a person with a fringe 1 in 100 political belief would be forced to confront the reality that almost nobody agreed with them. Whenever they expressed their political beliefs in the real world, there was only a 1% chance that the person they were speaking to would agree, and this would give them the best chance of reconsidering their position. With the internet, and especially places dedicated to custom political communities like Reddit, these people can now congregate together and trick themselves into believing that they hold normal mainstream beliefs. They can also trick others into believing that their beliefs are more widespread than they really are. With a population of 320 million in the US, this means that even a 1% fringe belief can attract up to 3.2 million participants all focused together in one place. Add in the fact that social media allows us to curate our feed so that we no longer see opposition messaging, and suddenly you have a group of millions of people who hear only themselves. This tiny band of fringe lunatics begin to think that they are the people, and that their beliefs are not just mainstream, but possibly the majority opinion. This then has a tendency to snowball, as fringe communities that are effective at brigading other communities can create a false sense of size and scope, thereby attracting others to their cause. This issue is reflected on both sides of the political aisle. There are comparatively few KKK members in real life, and while Reddit in particular has done a fairly decent, though far from imperfect, job of expelling the far-right fringe, web presences like Stormfront have allowed them to network and grow. Thus the recent resurgence in places like Charlottesville. Similarly, there are comparatively few actual Marxists in real life, but if you judge their demographic weight based on Reddit representation, you'd think that they were a major faction of the Democratic Party. This amplification also causes demonization across the aisle. While most of the time we are sheltered by our little online echo chambers, occasionally these fringe messages bleed through, and we start to think that the Republicans are mostly KKK members, or Democrats are mostly Marxists. I do not know what the solution is. I don't know if there is one.